X and Y contribute 20,000 and 10,000 respectively. They decided to allow interest on capital at the rate of 6% per annum. Their respective share of profit is 2:3, and the profits before interest on capital amounted to 1500. So the distribution of profit where there is no agreement except for interest on capitals. There is no agreement except for interest on capitals. In this case, we have to see there is no agreement, but only interest on capital will be allowed. First of all, we have to calculate interest on capital for X and Y. We have to first show the working notes. Working notes. Working notes. Interest on excess capital. X has invested rupees 20,000 at 6% for the whole year. There is no months. That means this is for the whole year. The interest on X capital is 1200, whereas interest on Y's capital this is rupees 10,000 at the rate of 6% for the whole year, that is rupees 600. The total interest due is 1800. Total interest on capital, interest on capital of both X and Y. Available profit for distribution, distribution is equal to rupees 1500. You see there is a loss. So in case of case 1, there is one thing, interest where there is no agreement except for interest on capitals. If we will allow interest on capital, there will be loss. In this case, you cannot prepare P&L appropriation account. You have to prepare only profit and loss account. So, and this interest on capital cannot be given in case of case 1. Case 1. Before that, fair notes. Profit and loss. Appropriation account cannot be prepared in the case. Only profit and loss account for the year ended dash 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 debit credit. This is particulars rupees particulars rupees. 2. Interest on capital. 2. Interest on capitals. For X, here you see by net profit brought down, by net profit brought down 1500. For X, this 1500 can be distributed in the ratio of interest. Rupees 1500 is the available profit, whereas the share of X is 2/3. 1200 is to 600 is equal to 2:1. 1200 is to 600 is equal to 2:1. That's why interest will be distributed in the ratio of their capitals or interest, as we have already calculated above. That is called 2:1. That is 2:1. This is rupees 1000 for X, whereas the same is for Y will be rupees 1500 if either calculated in the ratio of interest or ratio of capital, which is 2:1, will amount to rupees 500. Will amount to rupees 500. This total is 1500, which is not more than your available profit. Now this is closed. This is 1500 each side. Only interest was allowed up to the available profit. If the profit is more than 1800, then we should have allowed interest on capital in up to the full amount of 1200 and 600, and if there is any profit that will be distributed, in that case profit and loss appropriation account will be prepared. Here you don't have profit after allowing interest on capital. That means you cannot prepare a profit and loss appropriation account. Then the case 2. The case 2 is this. Case 2. Prepare a profit and loss appropriation account. Sorry, the first one was profit and loss appropriation account. Profit and loss appropriation account. Whereas the second one is only, in the first case you could not allow interest, you allowed interest on capital till the available amount of a profit. There is no loss. In that case you have to prepare only profit and loss appropriation account. In the second case, only profit and loss account will be account for the year ended 1 2 3 4. In this case only profit and loss account will be prepared. Draw the format. This is debit side or particular side. This is by net profit brought down by net profit brought down 1500 to interest on capital on capital X, as you have calculated in the working notes, it is 1200. For Y, as shown in the notes above, is 600. The total amounted to 1800, and there is loss by loss transferred to capital accounts for X, for Y, and the total. This is 1800 in all, both the sides. 1800 in debit side and credit side. The totaling is same, and the difference is the loss 300, which is net loss. Loss cannot be shown in an appropriation account. The 300 will be distributed in the ratio of 2:3. 300 into 2/5, rupees 120. 300 into 3/5, rupees 180. 300.